Hello, my name is Joel Henricks. I'm the Facilities Director for the Adrian Dominican Sisters, and we're out here at our new solar field, who very soonly will be putting this into production, and we're very excited about this. This project started about 3 years ago in 2020, where we got started with the project. To be fair, we've been talking about solar power, renewable energy resource for something on campus for several years now, and it finally came to fruition about 2.5 years ago, and so we're about to unveil the latest production for this project. So this is about a 950 kilowatt array. We have 850 kilowatts here and about 100 kilowatts up front at the Regina carport. We consume about 4.4 million kilowatt hours annually here on campus, and this is going to produce about 1.1 million kilowatt hours. So it's going to produce about 25% of our annual campus usage. It just really depends on the time of day, the length of sunlight in the day. It really depends, and that kind of guides your production there. So some of the other questions that we always frequently get asked is there storage capacity for this solar array? And the answer is no. The technology on a large scale like this doesn't exist, and it's kind of cost prohibitive to do something like that. So this will produce energy while the sun is shining, and then during the evening hours or when the sun is not out, we'll be pulling our power off of the consumer's grid. Currently, we have no electric vehicles in our fleet. And I know that, again, that is something else that we've been kicking around for a while. And yes, sometime in the near future, I see us adding electric vehicles to our fleet. Now, what that looks like is as far as sisters usage or resident services, I think that's still to be determined, but I can definitely see us involving electric vehicles into the fleet. And another thing that we did add, last year we bought an electric zero-turn mower. So that was a very neat addition, and that is a really cool piece of machinery. Annually, we consume about 4.4 million kilowatt hours, and the array is going to produce about 1.1 million kilowatt hours annually. So what that means is about 25% of our power is going to be produced from this array. The rest of the power will be coming from consumers' energy. The way that it works is if we are consuming more energy than we're importing, we'll throttle our production down a little bit. Consumers, we're not really allowed to export power, so we will not be selling power back to the grid. We're just going to be consuming everything that we produce here on site. This north field array resides on approximately 2.5 acres, and then we have the front field array that is in the Regina carport, and that is just a relatively small array that is over 2 center sections of parking area in the parking lot. So one question that I do frequently get asked, if you look at the panels behind me, you'll notice that they undulate with the land. They are not flat. That was done intentionally for the purpose of honoring the land. We didn't really want to change. We didn't want to put a lot of money into some pretty drastic earthworks and change the way that the land was shedding the water. And even the solar contractor had said that 85% of their installations, they let the land dictate how the solar panels are all installed. So if you look at it, they do undulate, and that was done with a purpose.
Hello, my name is Brad Frank. I'm the Director of Sustainability here at the Adrian Dominican campus. I'm currently standing in front of our north field solar array. We also have a second, smaller array over the Regina parking lot. And I hope to talk to you a little bit about the benefits of renewable energy. Before we get started though, I have to extend my gratitude to everyone that made this possible. This has all occurred prior to my time here, since I'm fairly new. So I'd like to thank everyone that made this project possible. In addition to that, we also have to comment on the congregation that is deeply concerned with our planet, primarily with global warming. So they have made a huge commitment to further develop our sustainability efforts here on the campus. I also have to mention that we do participate in the Consumers Green Energy Program, which essentially says that we stipulate that all of the energy that is provided to our campus comes from renewable sources. So we are participating in that. This is in addition to that. So in order to explain how these solar cells generate energy, I'm just going to paint this with a broad brush. We are receiving energy primarily in the form of visible light. Visible light, a little bit of ultraviolet light, as well as infrared, is what triggers electrons in these solar cells to become excited, generate a current, and thereby generate electricity. In the realm of sustainability and in my department, I am ultimately concerned with our carbon footprint. So let's talk a little bit about our carbon footprint without solar energy, and then how we are reducing our carbon footprint with these solar panels. First of all, on average, our campus consumes about 4.5 million kilowatt hours of electricity a year. If this is generated in a traditional means of consuming coal or oil or natural gas, we can expect that to emit approximately 1,900 metric tons of carbon dioxide. The combined our two solar fields combined will generate approximately 1.1 million kilowatt hours of energy. This is an offset of about 470 metric tons of greenhouse gases. So about a quarter of greenhouse gas reduction using these solar panels. Oftentimes I get asked, what is a metric ton of carbon dioxide? You can't see it, it's a gas. So if you can imagine a sphere that has the diameter of 32 feet, we could house 1 metric ton of carbon dioxide within that sphere, assuming standard pressure and temperature. Boyle's law applies with gases. So again, when I look at our carbon footprint, I am seeing a huge reduction here. Just with renewable energies. And that's the thrust of renewable energies, is really to offset carbon, as well as the other pollutants that come from the combustion of fossil fuels. So looking to the future here on this campus, this is obviously a huge benefit for us. In the future, I believe we will be able to electrify some of our vehicles that we use for the sisters. This again will help us offset some of that carbon, and we'll look to see what comes.